So here's how I believe I will change the world without aiming at changing the world. Change the world by accident. Change the world by just being me. And how you can do it too. See, there's something that God has put in me. This fascination to know the truth. It makes a lot of sense. I've been in great darkness. I feel like I've had to face so many mental challenges, so many things I've felt deceived with, so much has warped my reality. So much so that it has brought out this authentic desperation and this need to know the truth. I get into a relationship with God, and he brings me into a process of repenting, and that being, forget what you knew about me. Because blind men don't know me. They don't know me enough. I want you to know me more. And I've needed to know God more. Because the way in which people have described and projected how God is, I'm like, I can't be comfortable with that guy. Because he's all about, got to get rid of that sin, got to do this, got to live for me, got to, all that stuff, it's too much. It's too much. And I'm like, well, I don't have that. So where's my fire? Where's my authentic thing? And I feel like God's just like, I've given you this fascination, this desperation, this need to know the truth, right? And this is how I believe I'm going to change the world by accident. Because the truth is him. So to know him is to know the truth. And this is how the captives will be set free. And if the captives are set free, that's definitely going to change the world. So many people have been in bondage, like I've been in bondage, deceived to believe lies that are true. Things that have become so normalized because you have all of these people in darkness saying that darkness is light, and they're saying this is what it is. This is how God sees this. Look at what his word says. It's like you are talking about him, but you don't know him. See, God has made me desperate enough that I need to know him. And it probably along the way, like my doctrine is going to be off, my theology is going to be off. I don't really care. Because I seem to be one where he is positioning me to know him, right? And so I'm being taken, this need and this desperation to know the truth is ushering in this measure of light that has taken me into knowing the truth. And in light, what I began to see is how much I can't see, which I believe was the beginning of Saul's transformation into Paul. He was blinded by the light, which showed him he could never see to begin with. And that has been a lot of what the church has been. We've been, oh no, we got this. We can see this, we can see this. So what do you want us to do for you, God? What do you want us to do? And we represent God in this way that it's not really him. And the representation of who God is that the church as a whole seems to have put upon him, I'm like, I don't want to know him very much. I feel like I have to because of fear of going to hell, because of, again, the projections of men before me saying this is important, this is a big deal. But they have assigned meaning to things that I don't think that you would assign meaning to if you had a clear picture. A clear picture of being if you knew the truth. There seems to be something very magical in the light. There seems to be something that actually makes the darkness so small when you are in the light, when you become adjusted to the light. And that's what's happening to me. I'm like waking up. I'm like waking up and forgetting the former things of what I was taught in the darkness in this place where if darkness is all that you've known, it's going to be normal, right? And so there's so much normalized darkness in the church. There's so much of that. And so God has made me desperate. He has made me needy. I have felt so much accusation, so much confusion, so much fear. I felt like an orphan my whole life. Just feel like I don't belong anywhere. This great stain of shame on my soul, so much where it just has me just thinking over and over and over and over and over and over. And I feel like God's like, people are going to be like, no, you got to put that down. You got to put that down. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. Do that. Do this. and I see that they're in darkness now. When before I thought they were the light bearers, they're the ones that are actually the one projecting darkness. Not all of them, but damn, we have got it wrong, people. And by the grace of God, I will be able to say, no, this is what he is about. This is what he is about. because I didn't begin knowing what he was all about. And that's what made me weak. And that was what made me one in need of being rescued out of darkness, out of captivity, and taken into the marvelous light, right? But I'm not going to be rescued out of darkness and taken into more darkness. I'm rescued out of darkness and taken into light. And when you were in light, like I am experiencing light, the things that I learned in the darkness to be light, I'm now judging those things and saying, that's not it. That's not what he's about. That's not who he is. That's not the God that's revealing himself to me. And this is how I believe it will change the world by accident. Because the God that is revealing himself to me will become the reflection of who God is to the world. And I think that in that way we are light bearers, right? But I think before the light passes through us, it comes and judges our darkness, right? It comes and judges the things that we have believed to be light, the things that we have believed to be true. The light, the truth comes in and judges what we have believed to be true and says, this is actually a lie. I'm judging this. And I've had so much of that happen in my life. And what I'm discovering is that light is so much greater than we could have ever thought. We seem to be so much more of a fascination to the Father than I could ever really believe. So much so that I've given my whole life to just knowing what that's all about. Right? And the world is in way more darkness than I ever could have ever imagined. And not just the world, the church. Everybody, every single person in darkness, it seems. Right? And I'm like, oh, it seems to be we're set up like this. Right? Right? And he has taken me out of darkness and he's bringing me into light. And so I'm adjusting to light. And now he's having me come back into darkness and say, oh, hey, by the way, this is darkness. By the way, this is light. This is what you can believe to be true because you're in darkness. This is what I believe to be true because I was in darkness. It won't be me convincing you of anything. It will be the light. It will be the power through him by the Spirit that comes and judges the darkness that's in you. Just like it happened for me, right? It's just going to be a transcending thing. It's going to be something that I don't know what he wants to do with it. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's not going to be me like going and convincing people that they're wrong and they're in darkness with a megaphone. That just seems to be more darkness. That's what we would come up with, right? Megaphones and trying to convince people of arguments and having debates and shit. You know how stupid that is? It's so stupid to me. Anyway, I digress. Because when you're in the light, you're like, no, like I am weak in this way that weakness is appropriate, but honorable in the hands of someone who is so strong. And it will be by his power that this light passes through me and reaches the darkness. But I don't have to aim at that because he has set me up to know this desperation, this need, this fascination for the truth that is taking me into these places, that now I can't help but change the world. You won't be able to help but change the world. Like you will be in your purpose. You will be in it. Whenever you are met with that conviction, that need, that desperation, how you need to be rescued from darkness, whatever that darkness is, whatever that captivity is. And for me, what I'm experiencing is, oh, we have believed so many things to be light, and they're actually not. And I don't know how much is not light or whatever, but it's a lot. It seems to be so much. And we are more in bondage than I ever thought we could be. Calling ourselves free, right? No, I'm free because God set me free. He gave me this. No, dude. Maybe, I don't know. He's not going at me like that. So my fascination with light will become that of which changes the world by accident. Why? Because it's showing the world who the Father really is. And that's what we are in desperation of knowing. Knowing how the Father really feels about us. Knowing who the Father is. Jesus came to show us who the Father is and how the Father really feels about us. Right? You think I signed up for this shit? No. It's like the most hardest thing ever, but it's my road, and grace is on my road, and grace will be on your road. And I don't. We have this thing where we're like, we got to get our purpose, we got to follow God. It's like, dude, you got to find out who you are. You got to find out where you are. You got to find out your desperation, your need. You got to be convicted with that. And then that's just going to come through you. Like that ministry or whatever is just going to pass through you, right? As light came and judged your darkness, and now the light that is no longer, there's no longer darkness in you. And so now the light just hits other